Welcome back, beautiful souls. This is Goddess Nakbulan guiding you through another moment of divine restoration. So today's message is simple, but it's powerful because it's about your healing. It's happening even in silence, and it's the same thing for me. I've been in a very still vibe where I'm just staying to self even more. Not living in mystery, but just feeling, I want to say, a bit of a hermit mode. And just wanted to have more self preservation. I don't feel like being on the camera. I just don't feel it. I just feel like my voice is present enough in this moment, in this era that I'm going through, where I just feel a little selfish with giving so much, right? And in that sense, I'm just talking of, in the reality of starving out certain deities, entities, dark forces of that nature, that just come to intervene and look into you. And also, I'm out, I am going through the transition of being moody and not caring about certain things. So that's why I'm just leaving it at that. I'm just in this mode where I just don't care. And not to say I don't care about the collective or the beautiful people that has joined my channel, with with our spiritual community on the channel is what I want to say. Sometimes I don't know what it is as I come on camera, my left side, and then also the stuttering. So it's not. I think it's like a not nervousness, but sometimes I feel like I just overthink what the right words to say and not um, come off as a confusing spirit, rather more clarity. So I think that's why I pause and kind of stumble on my words. But I mean, that is what it is, and I love me. So you have to embrace yourself with all your flaws. Anyhow, your healing is happening even in silence. Right? You've been walking through a season that required strength you didn't always feel you had. I know, for speaking for myself, going on the spiritual journey, there was so much nervousness when I started. I had a lot of emotions. I know people say you're not supposed to say that you're an empath, and they try to use those things against you. But I don't really. That's not. If you wonder what I'm drinking, this is lime pulp with cloves and honey. And I've been on more of a detoxifying, getting more strong in the fasting. It's very important. I know a lot of people are like, oh, who cares about all that stuff? Eat what you want, be happy. But no, especially not in this day and age, because let me tell you something. In case of the inevitable, I want to be light on my feet. I want to be strong-willed, because I feel like the things that I have achieved, I'm able to deal with the wilderness. Whereas me probably 5 years ago, I would have been like, oh, I need something to eat every 5 minutes, or consuming things that is definitely bad for my health to satisfy the flesh with gluttony and things of that nature. So I'm just so happy that I'm overcoming certain things. Not being around certain people that taunt your spirit, like you tell them that you're on a fast and they come eating a donut in your face. Just blatantly disrespectful. So it's not going to be too lengthy. I just really just wanted to talk about healing and walking through a season that required strength, you didn't always have. So that's basically what this is about. It's just about healing. Also, take a breath with me if you want to. Um, Inhale 4 seconds, exhale 6 seconds, inhale 4 seconds, and let go, release. So I don't know if you want to do it with me. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and release. So I've been practicing a lot, I'm learning every day, reading and things like that, and gaining more knowledge on things that sometimes we feel we know so much information. I also wanted to touch on, because I did say I'm not a religious person. I am not, people like to say if you're doing tarot, you're a practitioner and stuff like that, but I feel practitioner is a bit of a bigger shoe to wear, because you're more into like rituals and different stuff. It's more deep, I feel like, in depth. But I just wanted to really talk about the fact that everybody wants to talk about what you need to follow. You don't need to praise too much of the Most High. You don't need to do this. You don't need to do that. And I feel that we're in a world where we should just let people be. You can have an opinion and say you don't think something is right. You can have an opinion and say that you don't like someone doing a certain thing, but we're not here to judge people. We are here to live our path, right? And worry about your life experience and love the people around you. Don't take the things for to advantage, because we're not promised tomorrow, correct? So I feel like we're at a space where we should focus on the things that is helping your better good. Taking on situations, making yourself more stressful, letting things in your atmosphere that doesn't belong is where I'm at on my spiritual journey. And if you're new to the channel, that's where I'm focusing on. I'm more focusing on spirit. When I get my downloads, I'm freestyling. If I feel I need assistance with cards, to give more of an affirmation when I'm on here. But a lot of the times it's about spirit and raising your elevation, high vibration, positive affirmations, excuse me, things of that nature. So when you're intuitive and and people or you talk about things that is to raise awareness and help people get to the mindfulness, and in spirituality is raising your higher frequency, right? You're doing things that you didn't do in your yesterday, in your yesteryear. And I feel like that's what we're focusing on. I've seen so much discourse about following this and that, and all these different things that just like we're still forcing ideologies on people that have free will, right? If you want to go by the biblical terms and all this stuff, come as you are, do all these things that people like to go by, the good book. They're not following it. I don't see they're following or practicing what they preach. Rather, I see it's a lot of conviction, and I see a lot of excuses where people talk about, I am working on myself. we are born in sin and all that stuff. I feel like all of that is a lot of excuses to keep doing bad and then looking for that umbrella to say that, oh, God is still working on me, and you're hurting people or you're essaying people, molestation, ancestry, all these things that are wicked and wild and just nasty below the sun, right? Because not above the sun, it's below the sun when you're working in dark forces and evilness, wickedness, practicing ill wills towards people, and then trying to then cover use the religion umbrella and say, oh, God knows I repented and all this stuff. So it's just, you're going to continue the cycle of being ill-willed. And I don't really try to focus on those things because I've been a victim myself. So I try to just raise higher. 555 is the time as I'm speaking. So I like numerology, and I know people say that is wicked. There's so many things where people have opinions about things that are really signs and wonders. And right now, the world is at a state where we have so many people questioning where they belong. We have people that's trying to accept things for what it is and take one day at a time. We have so many people going against human nature. It's very chaotic right now that I'm noticing as far as the balance. So my focus is today is to encourage whoever's listening, to encourage healing, to encourage health, wellness, to encourage a high vibration to the point where you are ready and you won't panic in case of anything, which is, I always say, the inevitable. I feel like that's what I'm preparing myself for. We are definitely in a state of emergency, I want to say, when it comes to the youth, when it comes to domestic situations, the family dynamic, male and female gender wars. It's so much going on. But I just really wanted to focus on that particular topic with you guys today. And just come with this healing message that I continue to use on my notepad. I've been typing. I have a lot of things that I've written, but I figure like to keep a general diary and a spiritual journal rather to gain collective, go back on my archives and things of that, to also watch the progression in my spiritual journey, and also not to be repetitive and redundant when I come here on the channel to engage with my community. So as we did take our breath, slow, gentle, and intentional before I started to rant, feel your spirit soften, feel your shoulders release, feel your heart open just a little bit more. Tune in to your intuitive antenna, to the universe, right? And today is not tarot. Today is not me pulling cards of affirmations. Today is just me freestyling on stepping forward into a new vibration, right? Because we all have different, we have our pre-spiritual journey, we have our mid journey, we have our post. There's so many different parts. It keeps going and it keeps going because, like I said, we learn, relearn, unlearn, learn more, and adhere to the things that we're learning as we progress in this life experience. So one where your wounds are no longer defining you and your past no longer limits you. The universe has been clearing space around you, removing what cannot go forward and preparing you for what can. Your soul is remembering its brilliance. I feel that once it's remembering its brilliance, then you can also be an advisory spirit for the people around you. If you have a channel, if you have a platform, however you reach out to raise high vibrations. And it also, as you talk to the collective, you also raise your vibrations, because you know you speak words, as they say, spells, words are spells, right? And so you continue to put these good vibrations, think highly of yourself, you become more rich in spirit, and then things will follow after. I enjoy this because it does help me. I raise my vibration. I feel good when I come on the channel. I have a better day per se, because sometimes if I can't get to make a video because there's a noise as far as the family dynamic, or I'm going through something where I'm trying to come out of my mood, and I don't want to, come on the channel and be in a melancholy spirit. And I don't like to disrupt or dampen anyone's parade, right? But I just feel like when you remember your brilliance, you remember your safety, your mind is remembering its clarity, and your spirit is powerful. The ancient spirit, as far as our ancestors, we want to pay homage, and live in a life where it honors them. Not to say you have to do as they did, but also just still take little bits and pieces to add to your well-being, right? To your holism, if you're feeling broken. And I'm noticing, I feel the vibration that you don't have to be behind. You don't have to be broken, because you are becoming in your spiritual journey. That's the whole point of raising a high vibration and being in your high frequency. Every day a little bit more light returns, especially for myself. Every day a little bit more peace settles in. Every day I rise. I hope that you rise with more grace than the day before. So breathe, God body. Breathe, goddess. Healing is not a race. It is a rebirth. Remember that. Excuse me, because I don't want this to get too cold. Excuse me. But when you're blooming in your spiritual garden, you're planting the seeds, you're watering yourself beautifully. And I wanted to just get more in depth with that. I didn't mean to keep you guys so long. It was supposed to be just a short, quick healing message that I wanted to share. That was been on my heart. But if this message resonates, let it wash over you. Let it anchor you. Let it remind you that you are held, guided, and protected at all times, and you believe it. That's also emotion. Believing it and knowing that you are in a place where you can live for today and know once that day is over, you're better than the person you were yesterday. And that's it. That's all we could do. So peace, love, and light to the family. Abundance and gratitude. Thankful always. Peace. Peace. Because we are at a state of emergency where we need to focus on our peace for our next steps. This is sorry, because I don't know what it is every time I come. I just feel like there's always some kind of resistance when you're trying to raise. It's like I noticed that even though I said peace, love, and light, I was gonna close it out. It just there's this one thing that keeps coming up in my head, that people like to be in mess, in drama, in negativity, in putting and belittling people, putting people down, people trying to get one over you, people trying to pretend and wear masks to get close to you, to try to destroy your path. And I wanna say that that is what I feel like the state of emergency is, the wickedness of what people are trying to get you out of. Feeling good about yourself, feeling uh, blessed or highly favored, or feeling that you rise above, you turn a cheek, doesn't mean that you're weak. You have things to do. There's a lot of people that I try to offend me on a daily basis. But you know what I do? I try, not that you have to do what I'm doing, I'm just sharing. I start to say to myself that you're not higher than my purpose. You're not higher than what I have to achieve. I have to turn on the light because the sunlight is going. 606, which is another good spiritual number, is on the clock as I continue talking to you. But I really wanted to say that keep continuing to, as I was saying, like, I don't have time to dwell on what you're trying to distract me from. So you can call me all kinds of names. I'm so happy I reached that height of humility where I'm like, you can say whatever and it's not going to bother me anymore. Yesterday, yes, I was going to come back for you tit for tat. And so now I'm at a place where I just rather walk away. I try not to get too bewildered or disheveled and let people ruffle my feathers. I end up laughing or chuckle it off, even if it might get to the point where I'm like, you know what? Or I'm second guessing. I don't even let it get that far. I laugh it off. Okay? Because you have to ignore people when you're on a mission. Right? It might seem selfish, it might seem cold to people around you, but you cannot focus on what people have to say. Okay? And I've learned that the hard way. I'm almost 50 years old and I'm now learning that people try to distract you from things when they see that you have a potential or you have greatness in you, and they feel like they could get you off course. That is no longer. So I walk away. You can say whatever. I remember I was on the bus. I'm going to share a quick story and I'm going to go ahead. I was on the bus. I was going to, I forget what was I doing? Oh, okay. So I had there was a convention. I'm trying to learn a lot of things. I'm going to a lot of seminars and things like that. And so I was heading there, and there were two young ladies sitting behind me. She took her water bottle to press my buttocks area. I don't know if she was trying to test to see if I had a BBL. I have no idea what this young lady was doing. But I ignored her because I said, I'm not going to come out of character. I'm going to just pretend that she probably nudged me from sitting, because the seats are made so close, and when you sit down, a lot of the seats, if you have a derriere, like, you might not get full coverage when you're sitting down, right? So you're spilling out of the seat, if you will. I'm just trying to give you like a little quick imagination, right? And I wanted to know, like, what would she think would be my reaction if you're touching me with a water bottle, nudging me, or rubbing your kneecap across my buttocks or by my thigh area. And I said, some people are so presumptuous that the old me probably would have flipped out and was like, why are you so close to me? Why are you touching me with the bottle? Whatever, but I didn't channel that. I just said, I'm going to ignore. I just kind of shaked my head And I said, I feel like I'm being tested to see if I am healed, to see if I am in a place of ignoring and walking away because I have something that's going on in my life right now that I'm focused on a higher vibration. I'm just gonna say that, okay? Because I use that a lot, and I know it's a bit repetitious, but I am on a higher frequency, higher vibration, reaching above a lot of things that, even though life is life in, I'm not gonna let it get me to that point. Excuse me. And let it disturb me at, where I was gonna question and then get into a fight, and then there's two of them, and I'm getting older and they're younger women. Not to say that I wouldn't, I don't know what would have happened or what the reaction I was looking for, but I didn't give it to them. And then it didn't stop there. The young lady had to transfer to the same bus I was transferring to. She was racing me, walking past me as if we were in a competition to get who's going to get to the stop. But I usually don't sit on a public area seats, especially outside, especially that I know of the unfortunate that ride the bus to keep cool. And sometimes, people are not as clean. So I don't really like to sit anywhere. If I do, I have to be in a dire need and extremely exhausted. But as I say that, as she was racing me, I'm like, she's really trying to egg me on. There's a lot of people out here that are antagonists. Excuse me. That are antagonists. And I noticed that they do these things to see if they can, like if you're bigger and badder, or try to dishevel you because they're miserable or they're going through something where they want to express themselves but don't know how to release stress. So they're agging you to see if they can get a rise out of you. There's a lot of people out here doing this. Even when I see stuff on a feed, on a social media app, and you just see a lot of people, oh, she this or he's this, like, what is your concern? Oh my God. Why are you worried about what other people are doing in their journey? Worry about your journey. But I know sex sells. I know gossip sells. I know being miserable, being dramatic, it sells. And that's what people gravitate towards. But that's why I feel the need to get more peace and settle as we're going through this Lionsgate portal, heading to the solar eclipse with energy, manifesting, writing things down, and just trying to focus on the better good of thyself, of thy higher self, right? So that's all I wanted to share with you guys today. I didn't mean to go so far, but I did want to just let that out there, especially for the people here on the channel, what it's really about, right? And then all the other things will follow place. It fall into place. Okay, so I will see you later. Again, I'm going to say peace, love, and light and abundance to the family. Much gratitude. Always thankful. Thank you for the likes, views, and subscribes. I was so happy to see that my new projects have been getting a lot of reception. So thank you so much for that as well. So this is Goddess Nakbulan, and I'm on my healing journey, and I hope your healing journey continues. Later. Peace.